absolutely no context to put this together.
So that was one of the weirder dual track, like, am I in a dream? Is this a simulation? Experiences of my life. So full context. So Luke and I were classmates. I think he was ahead of me by a year in school, but we were at University of Illinois together and worked on a couple of failed startups together there. So we go way back. We're really close friends. And as we all made our way to Silicon Valley, I hung around campus because I actually really wanted to do research in cryptography, which back then crypto meant cryptography, not cryptocurrency. But I've always thought that there's interesting opportunities in currency to be invented powered by cryptography. So I was obsessed with things like, David Chaum's work in anonymizing signatures, and DigiCash was a thing back in prehistoric times.
In prehistoric times, like what year roughly?
I graduated at U of I in 1997. DigiCash, which was the granddaddy of all cryptocurrencies. I hope I'm not offending anyone's prior art, but I believe it was probably the very first attempt to make a real digital currency using cryptography. I believe it went bankrupt in the summer of 98, the year I moved to Silicon Valley. I actually went to the pouring one out on the curb party held on, kind of somewhat less explicably, on one of the picnic grounds at Stanford University. I happened to be there. It's actually a really good lesson, like sort of took that away with me to PayPal, where there was a bunch of people, some people today, people who are very active in cryptocurrencies now, but also just like interesting, famous people, famous today. We're all very young back then. And the conversation was around this idea, like how the world is not ready for this yet. Like the DigiCash and digital currency, like people aren't ready. In 98, this is like 10 years before the Bitcoin paper. So I'm sure they were right. But the conversation was really around how like it's obviously the right thing to do, the right way to do it. People just don't get it yet. And as a sort of naive, freshly minted computer science graduate, I was like, well, or the user interface sucks. It's really hard to have this very, very slow RSA computation happening on your crappy laptop if you're trying to pay for a cup of coffee. Like, it's just too slow. And people are like, heathen, you don't understand what you're talking about. Like, no time too long to wait for a digital signature. Non-repudiation. Like, okay, great, but seriously, like I just want a cup of coffee. So it was kind of an early moment where like, I feel like some of these things are